I got a little dog, and she is out cold. She's laying on the floor because she barked at every trick-or-treater that came by. Oh, she was dressed as a little golden knight, but she hated the outfit she had on. So she took it off and she barked at the kids, and we're all done with Halloween. Because they're fucking sick. Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 25, year 1. Today we're going to talk about this week, the World Series, my poker plans and what I've done this week, along with football this weekend coming up. So stay tuned here on the Mouthpiece. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Mouthpiece. How y'all been? I hope everybody's doing good. I've been doing pretty good. Played a little poker this week. Came out of retirement and made my first sports bet in 3 years. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. As for this week, I started playing again. I hadn't played in a couple weeks. Things went pretty well. I played 2,400 for 6 hours. Got stuck about 7,800. Ended up winning around 4,900. Mixed games, that is, 2,400 mixed games. And then the next day I went back and I played 3 hours and I won 10,000. I don't know why. I never leave when I'm running good, but I don't know. Something told me just to get up and quit. And sure enough, after I quit and I went home, I was in severe pain all night. So that was kind of tough on me. And again, it has to do with me, pulling up to Bellagio, walking all the way to the poker room, walking back, sitting in the... When I walk is when I'm in pain. So, it kind of sucked. I then took a couple days off and then played 8160, which played 153 because it was 40, 80, 160 blinds. So it's a big game. It played pretty big. I played for 5 hours that day and I lost 1,100. I just wasn't feeling good at all, and I just decided to quit. So then I made my first sports bet in 3 years of more than $100 or $200. I just was so sure the Washington Nationals were going to win the World Series. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I had an epiphany a week ago that they were going to win. Or actually, I had epiphany before it started. And then when they were up 2-0 and they were down 3-2, I just... Strasburg is the Cy Young Award winner in the National League. I felt like Verlander looked tired. So I thought they were going to win Game 6. I actually wasn't going to bet Game 7. I was trying to bet... 3 to 5,000 on the Nationals at I think it was 4 or 5 to 1 you were getting. And I made 2 calls to people who are always in the casino, and they weren't there. And because I'm brain dead from the meds I'm on half the time, I didn't know who to call, except the next day I remembered who I could have called the day before, but I'm so stupid. So the next day I called that person and I bet 3,000 at plus 133, plus 133. So 3 to win 4,000 on Washington Game 7. Now, I only won 4,000, but that's a lot of money for me now. Because I actually respect money nowadays. So, excuse me. And so Well, I was trying to move my fat ass closer to this thing without fuck all you guys laughing over there. So I just, because I didn't get down the night before, I was so upset. I was like, well, I'm just going to make this bet. If I lose, I'll go back into retirement, which I did anyways. I'm back in retirement. It was just a one-time thing. I know all you are out there saying, they're listening, yeah, we've heard this before. Now that you made a bet and you won, you're going to go and fucking start betting again, and you're going to go broke again because you're an idiot, Mike. But no, that's not going to happen.
You're going to put all your money on my bookie.
Yeah, I'm going to lose all my money at mybookie.ag. Yeah, no, I'm sick, bro. I can't do that. But for all you other sickies out there, go to mybookie.ag if you want to bet some sports and you want to bet some casino games and you want to degen out some live betting. Go to mybookie.ag, put in promo code Mouthpiece. That's mybookie.ag, promo code Mouthpiece, and you will get up to a 200% deposit bonus. So that's for all you sick fucks out there. But so things are good. I've been running good, and I always give Mr. Phil Hellmuth a piece of me. So even though I could afford to play on my own in this game, I WhatsApped Mr. Phil and let him take 25% of me while I was in WSOP Europe. And he took it. So I end up making 13 this week, but Phil gets 25% of it. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm happy with that. And the difference between me now and before is when you've had a lot of money and you lost it, you want to get it back. And you gamble recklessly and you just want to get back what you had. And the learning curve for me after 49 years was I kind of started my way on this correct path a couple of years ago, but this year I really took a correct path. And by the way, I have a big announcement to make. October is officially over, and I have gotten smashed every October, whether it be sports betting or poker or whatever. I mean, and this year with my positive mindset, and it's something that I talk about with our guest on this show a lot today, I made sure that I won every time I played, and also not betting any sports helps a lot. And I did well, and I had a winning month of October, the best month of October I've ever had. So let's talk a little bit about the World Series this week. Not just the fact that I won the only bet I've made over a couple hundred in the last 3 years. Hold it. Hello, Flash. Yeah. Yeah, why don't you tell everybody who you are? Yeah. Say, I'm Flash. I'm going to be 18 in January. Flashy, do you love me? What do you mean, no? You know, a lot of people are trying to second guess Hinch and the mistakes he made. And I'm going to go ahead and give my 2 cents worth, if it's worth 2 cents to any of you guys. I think that Hinch kind of panicked. he told everyone after Game 5 that Harris was completely spent and nobody needed a day off more than he did. And he was complaining how tired he was. So he brings Harris in Game 6. He gives up the home run. So here we go. 7th inning, Game 7. It's 2-0. Okay, he gives up the home run to Rendon. Now, Rendon's like first or second MVP of the league. So, I mean, the guy hits everything. Him and Soto are the only ones that hit everything in sight. So, no big deal. The next guy, he gets ahead of him. A 3-2 pitch that easily could have been called a strikeout, and he called it a ball for a walk. And, you know, I don't think that you have to take Greinke out in this spot. But if, after looking at replays of it on Thursday, he shakes his head, it nods his head, and then walks off. So I think the manager asked him how he felt, and he said he was tired. Now, I don't know. He has not commented on it or anything. But, you know, if he wanted to stand, I could see them going to another batter. I mean, he's given up 2 hits the entire game. But I also understand them going to the relief pitcher. So I just don't understand them going to Harris here in the 7th. I would have gone to Osuna for the last 2 outs, and then I would have gone to Cole in the 8th and the 9th. I just don't understand them going to Harris after the manager says how tired he was after Game 5. He then gives up the homer in Game 6. Why would you bring him in this spot? I think he should have gone to Osuna, and I definitely wouldn't have gone to Cole in the 7th. I mean, you can't take a guy who's never come out of relief and bring him in the middle of with people on base. You just can't do that. Not with him. And the reason why he doesn't have him up to start the 7th is because Greinke had a 1-hit masterpiece he was throwing. So, you know, I don't fault Hinch for that. The only thing I think that people could question is going to Harris after he told everyone how tired he was. Thought that was a mistake. And the other mistake he made was just an awful mistake. And, you know, it might change the whole game is when they're up 3-2, man on second, how do you pitch to Soto? I mean, you have to walk Soto and pinch to Hendricks. I mean, Howie Hendricks hadn't done shit till he hit that 2-run homer off obviously tired Harris, and you gotta walk Soto. I mean, him and Rendon are the only ones that can hit. So I think he makes a mistake there that makes it 4-2, and basically the game's over from here. I mean, if he walks him, he gets out of the inning. It's 3-2. Now you bring in Cole to go as many innings as he can, and hope you can get the equalizer down 3-2. But instead, he brings in Smith after it's 4-2. I mean, Smith hasn't even seen the field once in 6 games. I'm like, who is this guy? I didn't even know the guy was even on the team. And then he gives up a hit. No, whatever they give up. And next thing you know, it's 6-2 and the World Series is over. So a lot of people are going to give A.J. Hinch a lot of bullshit. But I don't think it compares in any way, shape, or form to what Dave Roberts did with the Dodgers the last 3 years. So, I mean, it's just inexcusable what he did to give Washington the series. And that's another reason why I took Washington and came out of retirement to make a bet, because this team was counted out against Milwaukee. Hader, best reliever in the game, 3 runs in the 8th to take a 4-3 lead. Dodgers down 3-0. And then 3-1 going to the 7th. They get the 2 homers off Kershaw, win the game in extra innings to win that series. And then they had Strasburg and Mad Max going, and the thing is they end up in the postseason 10-0 in games in which Max Scherzer or Strasburg started. 10-0. They were 9-0 in games those two started. And I was getting plus $1.33. I just couldn't resist it when the team hadn't lost a game that they started. And Max had a great fastball. He struggled with his changeup, and they had him on the ropes many a times, the Astros. And I was talking to a friend. I'm like, you can't leave 10 men on base in 5 innings and win a baseball game. I mean, they were up 2-0. They should have been up like 6-0 and game over. So, but you could also credit Max Scherzer. I mean, he got the outs when he needed to. And people want to say the Astros choked. And just like after the first 2 games, people are like, what's wrong with the Astros lineup? Maybe they're facing 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball. Does that have something to do with it? And then they went on the road and smashed 3 games in a row. Oh, wait, they didn't face one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball in Scherzer and Strasburg. Oh, wait, then they went on the road. What happened to the Astros? Why did they not hit? That's because they're facing 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball, including the Cy Young Award winner in the National League. So, I mean, I just don't understand what it's amazing. Like, I know how corrupt our media is, but watching our sports media try and make a story out of nothing. Like, why aren't the Astros we saw all year? Oh, maybe because they're not facing the Orioles, Torontos, Seattles, Anaheim Angels, or all those other dog shit teams in the National League. Detroit, the White Sox, Kansas City. I mean, when you face two of the top 5 pitchers in baseball, runs are at a premium. I mean, and the bottom line is they needed to beat Cole and Verlander one time to have a chance to win the series, maybe twice. They beat them 3 of 4, and that was a series. Their 2 best pitchers beat the Astros' 2 best pitchers. And Verlander and Cole were the 2 best pitchers in baseball. And Strasburg and Max Scherzer were like 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 outpitched 1 and 2. And that's why they won the World Series. No Astros choked and the greatest team ever to lose or the biggest favorite underdog to ever win. First of all, the line was ridiculous, making them 250 favorites over a team that had Strasburg, Corbin, and fucking Mad Max Scherzer. So, and Corbin, I mean, they all year, the Washington, and this is another thing, the Washington Nationals had the 2nd worst bullpen in the history of baseball. Right? They only had 2 guys they could rely on, was Doolittle or Hudson. They had nobody to gap from the 6th to the 9th all year, which is why they lost so many games. But, I mean, it's almost another reason why I bet on Washington. It was like it was meant to be. Like, Scherzer has to have the cortisone shot where he couldn't lift his arm. And then 2 days, if he goes that day, chances are, I mean, as good as pole pitch, they're going to lose. So he had to wake up with an injury, at first I thought the injury was bullshit, but I was talking with Oral Hershiser, and he told me no, he knows for 100% fact he had a cortisone, and he said that he had many in his lifetime, and it does, in 48 hours, you are able to pitch when you do have some kind of problems like he had. So, I mean, think about what had to happen. He had to come up lame. Then Strasburg had to win. Then they had to be able to go to Scherzer in Game 7. And then and Corbin came in. And Corbin, by the way, had the 3rd best ERA in the National League. So, like, he's one of the top 10 pitchers in the National League, too. And he threw 3 shutout, masterful innings. So, people out there saying the Astros choked. No. The Astros got beat by the better team. I mean, maybe the Astros had a better lineup. And maybe they had the big 3 also in Verlander, Cole, and Greinke. And Greinke pitched a masterpiece, and Cole pitched his masterpiece. But they found a way. Somehow they found a way, and you got to give credit to the 2019 World Series champions, the Washington Nationals. Okay, so we are 3-5 through 8 weeks after busting our butts to get to 3-3. We have took it in the ass 2 weeks in a row with our pick of the week. But this week, I've been looking, and honestly, I have had 3 that I really, really like, and I have been betting against this team all year, and all they've done is stick it to me. Not betting, because I don't bet, but I mean in my pick'em contest, I have been going against this team every week, and all they do is stick it to me, and it's the reason why I'm probably not in first or second place, and I'm all the way down in like 35th place, because I keep going against this team. But you know what? I'm not changing. I'm going against this team again this week as my pick of the week, which is brought to you by mybookie.ag. If you want to go out and make some sports bets or bet some live betting or play some casino games, go to mybookie.ag. You can get a 200% deposit bonus on whatever you put down up to $1,000. So that's mybookie.ag, 200% a bonus for whatever you deposit up to $1,000, and you enter promo code Mouthpiece. That's promo code Mouthpiece, and you could get up to 200% of your deposit up to $1,000. So enjoy that. And my pick of the week is dun, 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 dun. I'm doing it, guys. I'm taking the New England Patriots -3. That's right. Bill Belichick. You go against this guy, and all he does is burn you. I mean, last week I might pick him. I had Cleveland as my 10th best pick, but I moved them up to like my 6th or 5th. No, to my 5th, because they said it was a torrential downpour monsoon in New England, which it was for the first quarter. Then it drizzled the rest of the game, and, well, they lost by 14, getting 13.5. Now, I could have covered that many ways, but that's my own fault, because you had this guy Kitchens, who I'm 100% sure is the worst coach in the NFL, which it serves Cleveland right with all that talent to bring in a guy that's never had a head coaching at any level, in high school, college, or pros. They bring in a offensive line coach or whatever the fuck he was. He has not a clue how to manage clock management. He has no clue how to do anything. And this is why the Browns are 2-6 and headed for another losing season. And this is all coaching there. So, but I really love the Patriots. I think the Ravens are very overrated. I mean, Cleveland beat the shit out of them. That's all you need to know. They went in last week, beat Seattle, in Seattle, another team extremely overrated, where Russell Wilson has to play at an MVP caliber every game for them to win. If he doesn't, they don't win. And which is why I was really going back and forth on whether I should take Tampa Bay or New England. But when you're 3-5 on the year and you're struggling, and you really feel all year that Baltimore, that Jackson just hasn't matured enough as a passer against good defenses, which the Chargers showed you last year in the playoffs. I think New England's defense is just going to destroy Lamar Jackson, and I really like the Patriots -3 this week. And no, I will not be betting them, but you guys can at mybookie.ag. But promo code Mouthpiece. I really like New England. My second pick is definitely 100% Tampa. And those are kind of the only two I really like. Now, if Case Keenum goes for Washington, getting 9.5 is pretty good against a team that doesn't score, and their defense has really looked good the last 2 weeks. Now, I went against Washington. I took Washington in my pick on the first 6 weeks. Another reason why between them and Baltimore, the reason why I'm like in 35th instead of in the top 5, or maybe even in the top. But the last 2 weeks, Washington has covered. But they say that Keenum will be a game time decision. Now, if Keenum goes, Washington plus 9.5 would probably go to my number one pick. Because Buffalo's got a great defense. They struggle to score. But if Keenum don't go, I wouldn't touch that game. But I'm going to go ahead, like I said. I'm going with New England -3 on the road against Baltimore. My confidence level in this pick is a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. If I'm wrong on this game, I will never, ever, ever, ever go against Baltimore again. But I know I'm not. I just know I'm not. But I won't be betting. I know you guys think I'm going to come out of retirement again, but I won't. It was just the epiphany I had on the Nationals and the fact that they were 9-0. I just couldn't help myself with Strasburg and Scherzer on the mound. So, anyways, coming up next on the Mouthpiece, we have a special interview from the man himself, Allen Chainsaw Kessler, fresh back from World Series of Poker Europe, and he's going to have a great interview with him. So stay tuned here on the Mouthpiece with Allen Kessler.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matusow on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. Okay, everyone, it's my favorite time of the week. It's time to listen to our phone call segment. So let's light up the lines and hear what our fans have to say to us today. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Jay Kirby from Des Moines. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi. Didn't think I could get in. Was going to leave you a voicemail if I couldn't get in, but just want to say...
hey, Jay.
I forgot to ask you last time What?
What did you think of the World Series? You watched the World Series tonight?
Yeah, my wife and I were watching it, and my wife, she's a big Houston fan.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in between. I'm kind of medium. I'm not. I kind of like both teams, so I don't really have a pick. But she was getting so frustrated. Bless her heart. I could just hug her. She was just getting more and more upset. And I was telling her, Houston has had a history in this series of scoring early, but then they kind of go flat and don't score runs later in the game. But I told her, I said, honey, the Nationals haven't won a World Series since 1924, and so don't feel too bad. But she was really feeling bad for Houston. I was just trying to console her and tell her, like I said, that they haven't won for so long, and they really did earn it. So
they did. And I hadn't made a sports bet in 3 years, and I bet $3,000 to win $4,000 on the Nationals today.
You did.
I never thought. I just never envisioned. I just felt the Washington was always going to win the series. They came from behind against Milwaukee with the best reliever in baseball on the mound, scoring 3 runs in the 7th or 8th. They came from down 3-0 to the Dodgers in Game 5, and I just felt that they were the team of destiny. And I thought with Scherzer going today and Strasburg yesterday, it was a coin flip in the series. So it was fun to watch, man. So,
it was fun to watch. Early on, I was telling her, this Strasburg has been so solid, so steady.
Oh, God, he's so good. I knew they were going to win yesterday, and because I don't bet no more, I made a few phone calls. I was trying to get down on the Nationals to win this series at 5-1, and because I'm brain dead for all the meds I'm on. There's one guy I could have called. I forgot to call him, but I called him today. So at least I won a little money, and I'm not gonna go back to sports betting. It was a one-thing deal. I just was so sure that they were going to win. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I had a epiphany, So
yeah, epiphany. That's a good word. Okay, well, one more very quick thing. Are they ever going to make a movie out of you?
Well, I had a movie signed in 2013 based on my book. I had it greenlit, and it fucking fell through, and I was devastated. And I knew how hard it was to get a green light, and everybody's told me, don't get too excited. This happens all the time. And then I got sick, and then everything went to shit. But I hope so, because I'm about ready. I've turned it around. I'm crushing poker. I'm going to Florida this week to play in a big poker game, then Chicago to play in another big home game, and hopefully I'll crush it. And when I'm back on my feet, which I am back on my feet, but when I'm back to being a millionaire again, I'll be looking back at this, what happened to me, and wow.
Yeah, and quickly, I hope you do that movie, and you can make some money on that to kind of shore you up a little bit.
I turned down.
I'm sorry.
I turned down $750,000 cash from Ron Howard because he wanted he wanted to give me $750,000 and have all the rights to everything, and I just felt that I was losing millions of dollars by doing it.
Yeah, I think you could do better. I honestly do. A lot better.
But I look now after everything. Yeah, after everything that happened, I kind of wish I took it now, but then again, I wouldn't have the money. Who knows? Everything works out for a reason, and everything will.
Hopefully.
Let's hope so. Good talking to you again, my friend, and keep in touch.
Okay. Good luck.
Say hello to your wife. Bye.
All right, I will. Good luck.
Right, later.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. Who's this?
How you doing, Mike?
How are you? Who's this?
Zach.
Jack, how you doing? Where you from, buddy?
From Orlando.
Oh, cool, man. What's going on?
Not much. Just was curious what you thought about the game.
Yeah, let's talk about the game. The Nats are world champions. What do you think?
Oh, it was a great game. It was awesome.
It was.
I think they should have left him in a little bit longer after he hit the home run.
I think so too. My brother disagrees, but he hadn't thrown 70 pitches yet. The walk was really close. I mean, he didn't walk him up. It went to a 3-2 pitch, and he could have struck him out. He made one bad pitch. Here's what I would have done. I might have left him in for another bat. I probably would have. But then I would have gone to Osuna instead of going to Harris. He knew Harris was gassed. He even said going into Game 6, nobody needed a day off more than Harris. And then Harris gave up the homer last night, so he knew he was gassed. He knew he needed a day off. He went to him yesterday, he gave up a homer, and then he went to him today. I think that was a mistake he made. I think he should have gone to Osuna. He should have gone to Osuna if he was going to take Greinke out when he did, and then he should have started Cole in the 8th and 9th. And because you can't bring Cole in between innings. He's a starter. So you got to bring him in at the end of an inning. So that's what I would have done. And he ends up giving away the World Series without getting his best pitcher in the game. And I just think that's a mistake. No.
I definitely agree with you. I think the only thing is, though, I would have put Cole in. I mean, I know he's a starter, but I mean, it's a World Series, and I think
but
you want to have your best pitcher in, you know?
Yeah, well, the thing is Greinke was rolling. He had a one-hit shutout, going into the 7th inning, you know. But he gave up the homer to the best hitter on either team in Rendon. So it's not, the guy's the MVP of the league. I mean, so you can't really fault him for that. The walk was a questionable walk. The pitch count was real low. I don't have a fault with him taking Greinke out, but I think I would have gave him another batter. But if I didn't, I would have. I just think he shouldn't have gone to Harris, and only because of what he said before the game. He said after Game 5, Harris was gassed. He was tired. He needed a day off badly, and then he goes to Harris yesterday and gives up the home run. So he said that after Game 5. He gives up the home run in Game 6, and then he brings him back in Game 7, and I just think it was a mistake. And pitching to Soto was a horrific mistake. I would have never pitched to Soto when they were up.
Lights out in the series.
Yeah, when it was 3-2, I would never have pitched to Soto. I just wouldn't have in the, what was that, the 8th inning, I think, or whatever it was. He should have just walked. He should have walked Soto and then brought the other guy in to face whatever. He had a bad game at Hinch. I think his managerial moves he fucked up, and I think the other team was just better. They wanted it more. Look what they did. They beat Milwaukee with Hader on the mound. They got 3 off Hader in the 7th or 8th. I think it was the 8th. And from 3-1 down to 4-3. Then the Dodgers led 3-0. They came back in the 7th off of Kershaw, even though that was a horrible managing mistake by Roberts. Put Kershaw out in the 8th. And it was I just felt it was meant to be, man. I mean, they just kept coming back. I mean, look what the people are like, oh, wow, the Astros choked. Look how bad they were hitting at home. No, they faced 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball in those 4 games. You know what I'm saying? How come people don't realize this? Good. Strasburg is going to win the Cy Young in the National League, and fucking Mad Max is going to be like the 3rd pick. Both of them they're top 5 pitchers in baseball. So the Astros beat up on the 3 other pitchers, and when it came down to it, Mad Max and fucking Strasburg were good. Well, Max didn't have his stuff, but he was good enough. His fastball was way more live tonight, but he couldn't get the changeup over. It was interesting, you know. It was a great series. I mean, no games were 1-run games, but every game was a 1-run game going into the 7th. You know what I mean? So
they're all exciting too.
Yeah, they really were. So
I think Strasburg is a free agent now too.
No, Rendon is. He's going to get fucking paid. So is Cole.
Yeah, and Garrett Cole is also.
Cole and Rendon are. I mean, Washington's going to have to give this guy like 250, 300 million. They're going to have to. Yeah. You know, and Cole's going to the Angels. He already said he wants to be by his family and go to the West Coast. So he's going to the Angels, 100%. Not a doubt in my mind. So.
Yeah, all right. I agree.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. And
it was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Hey, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. What's going on?
Hey, Mike, it's Max. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Max. What's going on, buddy? Where are you from?
Hey, 2 things. Congratulations on your bet tonight. You bet on the other Max.
I came out of retirement. I could not resist getting plus 135 with Max Scherzer on the mound. And I knew he'd never pitch unless he was right. And his fastball was amazing, but he couldn't get the changeup over tonight, which is why he struggled mightily. But once again,
and he got the shots before the game clearly, so he was pain free.
Yeah, and once again, he fought, he won. You know, they won both games he pitched, but without him having his good stuff. But he fought, man. He's a battler. And then Corbin, You know, he was like third in the National League in ERA. He came in and threw 3 masterful innings, and everybody wants, like I said, they want to talk about, oh, the Astros sucked, they choked, that great lineup. They lost 4 games to 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball. Why don't people see that? You know, am I missing something? I don't know.
No, I see it, but more idiot managing.
Yes.
Why did they take out Greinke? Leave him in the game.
Well,
he threw one bad pitch the entire night.
With my last phone call that I just took, we had a discussion about this, and I would have left him in for another batter, but if I did take him out, I would have gone to Osuna. I wouldn't have gone to Harris. He said that Harris was gassed.
Oh, for sure.
He said Harris was gassed after Game 5, and he desperately needed a game off. Then he puts him in Game 6 and gives up the home run yesterday. And then he brings him back today. I mean, if you say the guy's gassed, why do you go to him? I just would have gone to Osuna, and then I would have brought Colin in the 8th and 9th. And then go from there. I thought he made. You can't bring Cole in the middle of an inning. He's a starter, and he's on 2 days rest. It just would have been a mistake. And Greinke had a 1-hit shutout going, so he didn't even have anybody warming up.
And he had 80 pitches. He could have gone the whole game.
Yeah, I just you got to leave. I mean. It's not like some scrub got the home run. It's the MVP of the National League that hits everything in sight that got the home run. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then,
absolutely.
And then I thought when they were up 3-2 to pitch to Soto in the 8th was just an absolute, just complete disaster. You know, why would you pitch to Soto?
For sure.
You know, or was that the
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the 8th.
He's been red hot.
Yeah, I mean, just go around and pitch to Hendricks, but whatever, it was. I thought Mr. Hinch did not have his best game. I mean, it's not like Dave Roberts who's given away the fucking 2 World Series and the series to the Nationals. He just gave it away to them this year. I can't. I'm as a Dodger fan.
No, I heard your rant on that. It's sort of similar in terms of coaching at the end of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Anyways, not to beat the dead horse, but I think your Scaramucci podcast kind of overshadowed your Postel interviews.
Yeah.
I just have one comment.
Yeah.
And again, of course, we've talked about this enough, but here's my timeline for listening to the Postel from your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to any podcasts, but I saw all the comments on Twitter. Yeah. because I follow all the poker players, see all the retweets.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of idiots.
One week. So one tweet I saw was Mike Matusow has betrayed the poker community.
Mike Matusow. I'm the only one that was able to get an interview with the guy. The guy wouldn't even talk. I mean, poker players should know better. I put him on so they could read what he's saying. I mean, that's why I let him talk the entire 3 hours.
You beat me to my comment because I saw the comments and like what did you do? What did you screw up? Did you agree with him? And then I listened to both of your interviews and you literally just let the whatever you want to call him, the guy talk.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
I let him either hang himself or exonerate himself and let everybody be the judge.
But like immediately, even Joey Ingram had a bad reaction. And then I think he went back and listened to what you had to say and what the responses were and your stance. And it was, you just let him talk, and he basically hung himself in his own interview with you. Oh, I have a blood clot, and
dude, I know. I mean, it's a circumstantial case. You can't just hang the guy. You take all the circumstantials and all what you hear, and you piece together a puzzle. And all I did is give them more pieces of a puzzle. And I think they should.
So why'd you get hung immediately? Why was that the initial reaction?
That's a good question. Probably because I didn't attack the guy for every hand he played because I told him I wasn't going to. I'm not going to attack a guy.
What happens if you attack him?
Well, he wouldn't have.
If you attack him, he just hangs up the phone. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Conversation's over.
Thank you. It's like so many people that I respect a lot said, Mike, you're playing chess and the rest of the poker world's playing checkers. I said, thank you. Finally, somebody that understands what's going on. Because he should have just hung the phone up if I start attacking him. I mean, people are so stupid, man. They're so stupid.
So that's where I was pessimistic before I listened, and then I just was like, oh, okay, this is interesting because we hear the guy for what he really is. So thank you for doing that.
Exactly. And let me ask you this before I hang up here. Have you ever heard me be so quiet in your entire life? There you go.
No.
That's all you need to know. I might have said 5 words in 3 hours. People are like they could have bet $1 million I couldn't be that quiet. I did that for a reason.
No, and the best counterexample is you have Phil Hellmuth, who's the most polarizing person in poker, and you dominate the conversation, and he talks shit about it to you, but you talk more than he does.
Yeah. So, people don't realize what I go through.
Congratulations on your win, and retire, and don't go back.
Oh, I'm retired, dude. I'm never betting again. I mean, if something comes up where I like something, I might. Like, I was all in on Toronto this year and didn't bet. I would have won like $250,000 against the Warriors, but I know how sick. I just know how sick I am. If I make a bet, it's like an alcoholic making his first bet or first drink. So as long as I know that, I won't be betting. So thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Sorry the Astros lost, but I think it was just Washington's turn. That's all. All right, my man.
Absolutely.
Take care. Later. Bye.
Later.
The Mouthpiece.
Okay, everybody. So we've got ourselves our first sponsor on this show. Their name is MyBookie, and they're a very reputable company. They have blackjack, craps, roulette. They have all kinds of other casino games, as well as tons of sports betting for all you degenerates out there. So do me a favor. You listen to the show, go visit mybookie.ag, put in the promo code Mouthpiece. That's mybookie.ag, promo code Mouthpiece, and you get up to a 200% bonus up to $1,000. So you spin, you win, get paid only at MyBookie. Up to $1,000 bonus. That's MyBookie. Enter promo code Mouthpiece. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it, and I appreciate them supporting the show. Welcome to the Mouthpiece, Mr. Allen Kessler. What's going on?
Am I on the radio now?
You are. You're on the air.
Well, I'm a bona fide celebrity. I picked up like 5,000 followers in the last 3 or 4 days from being on Daniel's vlog for like the last 15 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
How many did you pick up from the How much did you pick up from the markup police?
Nothing near that.
I know.
But I was on 15 straight episodes. He's got 300,000 followers or something. It's some crazy thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And every day he's asking me, what are you upset about today? And like people are asking, random people, and I'm in Choctaw right now. People walk up to me and they say, what are you upset about today?
That's a great line to say to Alan, because you're always upset about something. It's great. See, you need to just relax, enjoy life, do things, stay positive, and whatever it is, man. You get too worked up.
I left World Series Europe, and I flew right to Oklahoma to play some tournaments.
Yeah, I have my masseuse is doing massages out there. She flew out there, and my friend who's a poker dealer is out there dealing. Her name is Tabitha. They're both out there right now. So I heard the World Series of Poker Europe was like the most awful place to be at.
I really enjoy going there, to be honest with you.
You like it? That makes sense. Everybody hates it, and Allen Kessler likes it. That's about right.
No, I like it because, it's interesting to keep track of the Player of the Year thing because only a few people have any shot.
But I heard it's nothing. I heard it's in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing to do.
It's completely in the middle of nowhere.
Well, see, you have no life, so it makes sense. It makes sense. Your whole life is traveling the poker world. You need to have more of a life, Alan. We're gonna have to take you out and show you a good time, man. Chill out.
There was no casino for me either, because I don't play those kind of weird slots that they have in Europe. I only play, slots I'm used to.
Yeah.
So basically, but I did cash 3 times. I played the 25K mix, which was a tremendous tournament.
Yeah.
And
Phil was really upset the way he said that to lose his chips to the guy who only knew how to play PLO and no other game. I'm like, why didn't you just fold? Go to the next. He says, well, I was just going to play the nuts. And I'm like, well, you flopped the nuts. How'd you do? So I don't know. I just
but people were saying that he flopped the nuts, and he actually didn't. The other guy,
no, the guy was favored. The other guy was favored. I agree.
Yeah, the other guy had the same 9 as him, had live cards, and had an open-ended straight draw besides. Or something.
Yeah, the other guy had could hit an 8, a jack, a queen, a king. So he had 6. He had 6 and 8. He had 14 twice, and the only card that shuts him out is an ace. So I think they're probably about 50-50, I would presume. Probably flip.
Yeah, but with pot equity and stuff.
Yeah.
But I play with that guy, and I open from under the gun and limit hold'em. And I know the guy's, it's his big blind. I know he's calling 100% of the time. I have ace king and limit hold'em.
Right.
So the flop comes like queen jack something. So I have 2 overs and a gut shot.
Right.
And the guy's defending 100%. He checks, I bet, he calls. The turn is a blank. He checks, I bet, he calls. The river is a total blank. He checks, I bet again, he calls. And you wouldn't even believe what he has. He has pocket twos. Yeah. He called all 3 streets in limit hold'em against the tightest player.
Yeah. That's the thing. They don't ever look about. They don't ever think like, oh, this guy's playing tight. He might have it. That's why you consistently cash and you don't lose money playing poker because people are morons. They don't ever pay attention.
The guy, he had a massive amount of chips, and he only wins if I have ace queen. Any other 2 cards that I have to have better than pocket twos by the river. It was.
I got it.
He only wins if I have exactly ace king. That's it. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
And he was doing this for everybody.
Well, that's why Phil was so upset that he gave it away. He said that it was his absolutely most devastating second place finish that he could ever remember, because he said the guy could never win. He said the guy didn't know how to play 6 of the games.
Yeah, and his whole strategy in Pot Limit Omaha was pot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the number one. He was second in chips. Benny Glazer was first in chips at my table.
Mm-hmm.
And then he obviously had aces or kings, and he put them all in with 7, 8, 9, 10 for his whole tournament.
Of course he did.
And of course he made the hand, and he crippled Benny, and then he got this massive chip stack, and now he's just running over everybody after that. And that one hand took him to the whole tournament. It was amazing.
Yeah. So what you want to talk? I was reading Twitter a little bit. I agree with Dan Shack 100%. My entire goal in life is to get re-entries out of tournament poker and get day two entries out of poker. So that's my goal in life.
All right. So anyway, if you look at the Poker Boss Twitter, he's like the voice of re-entry. Sean McCormick from Aria. He loves re-entry. And he puts up this quote, and he says, look at the entries at the Bellagio for the last 5 years. And it goes from 500, 600, 800. And last year they got 1,001. Do you know what happened last year, why they got 1,001?
Yeah, because everybody, all the guys with money bought in 5 times, probably.
Right, but here's what happened last year for the first time. Matt Stabbage was brought in because the thing was a disaster the previous year.
I remember.
And I vowed never to go back.
Right.
And he was brought in to fix it, quote unquote, fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So he changed what was the best tournament ever, which was a 90-minute tournament. You play 5 levels, you go to the buffet, and you go home.
Right.
You were home 8:30. Remember that?
Yes.
It was terrific.
Yeah.
And like you finished day one at like 3 and 600 with like a 30,000 or 40,000 chip stack starting.
I know.
It was an amazing tournament.
Right.
Anyway, he changed that to he gave a few extra chips, like maybe 10,000 more chips, but he made it 1 hour levels, and he made it you can buy in all the way through the middle of day 2 dinner break.
Yeah, that's not even poker. That's a disgrace. I don't mind the hour level but I don't understand. Well, I do understand. It's all good for the house. They don't care. The thing is they don't care about poker, and the money's going to run out.
Just imagine you're some guy, right? You played $1,000 mega satellite to get in this tournament,
right?
And you're at a table full of people that have no value. They're back. They have no value for money. They just want to build a big stack, and you can re-enter until the average stack is like 18 blinds or something.
Right.
It's completely stupid.
It's just a disgrace, buddy. You're never there. Alan, so many things I disagree with you about, but when you're right, I always tell you. And you are right on here. Dan Shack is right on here. And if they want poker to flourish, they're going to have to get rid of re-entries, and they don't need these big prize. Nobody cares about big prize pools. Just they care about fairness. I'd rather have more recs in. See, they could get rid of the re-entries. They could all the places that run a World Poker Tour year round. They could just as soon as the first week of the year. But when they're a year before their tournament, they run a satellite once a week on a Saturday, Friday, $100 guaranteed, give away one seat, and fucking and they give away. They're going to give away 300 and whatever. How many once a week? Whatever is that? Yeah, that's 50 seats, and who knows? Maybe they'll get more, and then they should be satelliting in like 200 players and. It's just wrong, man. It's just wrong. I don't even know how to even say it.
If you look at the final 2 or 3 tables of the last couple of years of the Bellagio 10K, it's all people you've heard of, and you know the reason that is?
Yeah.
Is because they played 5 or 6 bullets.
Of course,
it's like one Joe Schmo against like 300 of the best player, or 400 of the best players possible.
That's why I haven't played it the last 2 years. I played it 3 years ago. I bubbled it with making a straight against a straight. Again, it's Dan O'Brien, which at the time I didn't understand the way he played the hand, so I could never have gotten away from the hand. And then I didn't play it the last 2 years because I'm not playing. I've worked too hard to put myself in position to. I did, from where I was 3 years ago to throw up 10 grand, or even if I sold half myself. Like, why would I sell half of myself at markup when everybody's buying in 5 times? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to do that to people. I want to give them a chance to win.
If you imagine like you're against 5 Ryan Rass, 5 of all the top players, like 5 Scott Stevers, 5 whoever, 5 Joseph Chungs.
I agree. I agree.
You keep putting these people at the same tables. You can't, like, the average guy is not going to want to even play in that tournament. Like, what is he doing here?
I agree. I agree.
And even when he finally knocks this guy out, guess what? The guy buys back in, and he's sitting right to his left, right again.
Again, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I've put out Twitter polls on this, and it always comes up 75% are against re-entry tournaments. 70% are against day two entries, and yet they keep having them. And until the poker players make a stand, they're going to keep having them. Even Sean Deeb agrees it's bad for poker.
2 days ago, I have the exact poll you're talking about.
Right.
And the number is like 5% that say they want unlimited re-entry.
Right.
It's like 20 to 1 against.
Well, you should tag that poll. Tag that poll, WPT, WSOP,
No, but that's what their argument is.
What?
Their argument is, well, your followers don't play 10K events.
Well,
so that poll is...
They don't play 10K events because of the way it's fucking set up. I mean, give me a fucking break. I'm with you on this, man. I mean, fuck, I want to play the 10K, but I don't have 5 bullets or even like 4 bullets or 3 bullets, you know? And I would sell half myself, but I just don't, it's wrong.
Can you imagine they let people buy into the middle of day 2 and the average stack is only less than 20 blinds at the time they're letting people buy in?
Yeah.
The whole thing is insane. So, like, you have to basically commit $30,000 or $40,000 to have any shot in the tournament.
I agree.
Or else run amazingly well, and then people are saying, "Well, if people play bad, you're gonna take advantage of that." And they're donating money to the tournament. They're not donating money. They're going to build up a big stack eventually.
I'm reading this tweet. In the 100K, Dominic Nitsch was in for 7 bullets and Matthias 5. They weren't going all in blind, but they clearly played differently than they would have if no re-entry existed. Okay? Like these guys, they don't, I mean, I don't know if they have that kind of money or they just have a $1 billion backer, but it's just, they've destroyed poker.
How can you put up $700,000 in a tournament where the entire prize pool is only $7 million?
Of course.
There's only 70 players in the whole tournament.
These guys have big egos. They think they're better than everybody else, and they're not. Okay? That's one thing I'm going to agree with Hellmuth on. Everybody thinks the way they teach is they're better than they're just not. Listen, no disrespect to Dominic Nitsch. He's a great player, but like, where are all the Germans the last 3 years? What have they won? You know what I mean? I mean, they had the one big year, but I'm just trying to say everybody plays good, and the difference between a great player and the best player in the world, it would take 10 years to show a difference. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you gotta give the Rex hope, so they could win a satellite, that they can win a tournament. You can't do what they're doing. I will fight to the death on this, and I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be shocked. The World Series is going to start doing it. It's just a matter of time before it's unlimited re-entries in the main event. They put day 2 re-entry in this year. I mean, they don't care. They don't care about poker. They care about their bottom line. And unless the players fight back, you're going to see they can't keep over. There's too much money going down the hole, and not enough people getting a piece. And it's just a matter of, the cash games already suck. It's just, unless you get in the private home games or whatever. And the rest is just it's gonna harpoon. You'll see. It's going to. It has to, you know. And all I care about is the longevity of poker. I care about the how poker goes in the future, the longevity of it, the fact to be able to bring people in, to bring recreational players in, where they win a satellite and they have a chance. And I'm just not for what they're doing here, and I never will be. And
and then they're saying, well, look how successful the tournament's been.
Successful
prize
for
pool
who?
has increased year over year over year, but that's not it.
That's not it. You're
It's
right.
less people. It's just people that are buying in more often.
Exactly.
You're not getting more people to play your tournament.
You're getting
way just selling
less.
more entries that people rebuy and rebuy and rebuy.
I would like to make a bet that the last 3 years, the amount of different players has gone down, even though the prize pool has gone up. I'd like to make a bet.
I challenged them to produce those numbers, and it was complete crickets after that. They would not tell me the numbers.
Of course they won't. Of course they won't, Alan. You know, and listen, I'm completely with you on this here. I hope we can do something, and I'm playing in a $2,000 tournament over at it's $2,200 on Saturday, and then there's Friday, Saturday, and then there's we're doing it's a $490 charity tournament on Sunday. I've worked for this guy in Florida. Me and Phil Hellmuth are doing it. And then we're playing a big, I think it's going to be a stream cash game, a 50K buy-in. And then we're going, me and Phil, we're going to go, we're going to Chicago to play a home game. So that's where where the money's at. You got to get in these home games, and you got to win when you get in them.
Speaking of streams, they were very, very particular at the World Series.
Yep.
No electronics, no phones, no nothing. They completely stripped people down. You couldn't see it on the actual live stream from World Series Europe, but it was.
Well, that's what you're going to have to deal with now for the rest of our lives. That's why I was hoping that this Postel gets his name cleared, because if not, they're going to. This is what we're going to have to deal with now, and it's going to be a new realization of poker. No more people who are on the stream in regular tournaments will have to. It's just fucked up. It's just fucked up, man. But whatever.
Yeah, I can see them saying, well, you can't wear a hat, you can't wear glasses because your glasses can have speakers in it. Right. You can't wear your hat because your hat has speakers in it.
I know of certain glasses that are able to see. I saw them on the internet. I forgot what it is, but they wires to your glasses. I mean, like, I think it's fucked up, but whatever, But I've been a person that was always a person that didn't want to see sunglasses or headsets at the table anyway. So maybe this is a way to get rid of them. And then there's
zero chance they're going to ever allow headphones. Like, you sometimes see on these TV episodes where people are wearing headphones listening to music.
Yeah.
Never again.
Never again. I agree. And you know what? Believe it or not, that's going to be a good thing for poker. I don't want people putting shit on their face. I want to be able to read people, because all these fucking GTO whatever people, they're all math guys, and you hear them dissect a hand like when you hear Doug Polk dissect a hand. Well, his range ain't that, buddy. When you're reading people, you know what their range is. You know what certain people can have and what certain people can't have. And you get a feel for how each people play. It's called poker, and I truly believe that the GTO ICM guys could be winning poker players, but give me the best people who read people for a living. People like Bren Kenny, people like Daniel, people like Phil, people like me, people like, I'm sure Brian Rasp is a great reader. There's plenty, Phil Ivey. There's plenty of people that read great that I'd take over the GTO people. So, that's just my opinion. And, that's why we have debates and we talk about it. We all have our different opinions, and, that's just mine,
Yeah, I was at Daniel's table for multiple tournaments at World Series Europe, and he was dead on what people had several times. Like this one guy, he said you have a straight Jack 10, right?
Yeah.
And the guy turns over to Jack 10, and it's a gut shot on the flop. Mm-hmm. And I said, Daniel, how did you know that? He said I had to read because the timing on the flop was different than on the turn, and
of course, and that's what I do very well, and that's what the great players do, and that's the thing is I tell people all the time, Alan, you can't teach talent. You can teach a Joe Schmo off the street to win money playing poker, but you can't teach talent, and the talented players are the ones that can sit there and not play for a year, show up, and get right in the zone because they read people. And no matter what anyone says, that's why I never understood Daniel learning. I mean, it's important to learn the GTO ICM so you know what other people are doing. But Daniel, he reads cards. I can't tell you how many times he says, he used to say, well, you got this. And then he'd call and say, yep, I knew it. But now, if Daniel, he's deaf. Him and Phil are just such great card readers. Phil, there was a thing I did in a Chinese game. We were playing Chinese poker, and Phil goes, he was going to put the kings up top, but he looked at me and he said to me, he goes, you hit the aces, didn't you? Because there was two aces live. He goes, I could see it on your face. and he changed the fucking order. And
wow.
I did hit the aces, right? And these are the things that Phil does so well that nobody will give him credit for. Okay, there's a reason why Phil is always there. Okay, there's a reason. It's not because he's lucky and Phil's an awful poker player. Okay, if Phil fixed a couple of things he needs to fix, but he never will because he never listens. Nobody will beat him. I do believe he is the best card reader in the world, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to give him where props are due. I think Daniel's right up there. There's a lot of great card readers, and it's you can't teach talent. When you look at somebody, you just feel it. Even when I dumped off that big pot in that cash game, my gut told me check fold on the flop, and I didn't follow my gut. And my gut told me 2 days ago I was 100% sure the Nationals were coming back and winning the World Series, and I hadn't made a sports bet in 3 years, and I bet today, and I was right. Everything in my gut told me they were going to win the series, and
I was watching that game, and I saw Houston just give up so many opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and I said to the guy next to me that they only have one run at this point, and they should have like 5 or 6 runs. Right. They're going to lose this game for sure.
Absolutely. You can't leave 9 runners on base in 5 innings and win a game. They were up 2-0, and it should have been like 7-0. And you can't leave runners on base, and it came back to bite them. And the manager made some mistakes, and it was just meant to be for Washington. I mean, they came back from down 3-1 with the best reliever in baseball in the wild card game. They came back from down 2-1 and 3-0 against the Dodgers going to the 7th inning, and they beat Kershaw. I mean, they were a team of destiny, man. It was great to watch. It was a great series to watch. I don't know if you were able to watch much of it out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
But I watched the game today, and somebody told me it's the first time in history that the away team has won every game in any series.
Well, there's never been a away team win 6 games in a series, which they did in Game 6. So, I mean, this will never be done again. And it was just their time. That's all you have to do. Just kind of like one day you're going to win a bracelet. It's going to be your time. It's just like I keep thinking my time is, for me to get off. I've been so close the last 3 years at the World Series, and I really thought the stud 8 was my time, but it wasn't. But my time will come again, and it's.
I'm the only player that has 4 second places with no bracelet. There's nobody else that's done that.
Yeah, but your time will come, and it's kind of like every bad thing that's happened to me in the last, 9 years, whatever it has been. You got to look at it, take everything as a learning experience, and you have to move forward. And for 3.5 years, I didn't do that because of my injury. I felt sorry for myself and blamed everybody. And once I changed my mind, and this is why, Daniel, they like to joke around and say, "What are you upset about now?" You should just live life happy. Try and better yourself every day. Try and make yourself a better poker player every day. Try and do things to make the world a better place every day. And it's unfortunate. It took me 49 years to learn all this. But I had to hit rock bottom, and every time I thought that I had hit rock bottom, I didn't hit rock bottom, and then I realized there was a bigger bottom, and all I've done is gone straight up since then. And this is the first October of my entire 23 years of playing poker that I didn't fucking get smashed. In other words, I try not to play during the October because I've got, all 9 times I've gone broke in my life, it's happened in October. And all the other times I would have either break-even months where I had to really put in a lot of hours or something bad. And I said this year I'm going to make sure this is the first winning October I ever had. You know why? I said no negativity. You can't think about always losing in the month of October. You have to think positive thoughts, positive, positive. And every day I went to play, and I didn't play that much. I played, I played about 8 sessions, and I won them all. But I was being very picky and choosy about whether I felt good that day or didn't feel good, or because I didn't want to make the same mistakes I've made in the past. And this is the first year I've actually learned from it. Like, you know how many times I said I'm never doing that again, and I do it? Oh, my God, I could fucking... I mean, if I had $1 for every time I said that, it'd be a joke, you know? So, but this time I stuck with it. And even though I made a bet on the game today, if I lost it, it wasn't like I was going to lose a lot. I felt that Washington was destined to win, and I bet $3,000 on them to win 4. You know, but that I'm not going to make another sports bet. You know what I mean? At least I hope not. But I'm sure I won't, actually. You know, I might make one.
Well, what was it about the month of October that you were consistently losing in October?
Well, I know why. It's always been like the end of September, October. It's during those are the months of the Jewish holidays. Okay, they're very sacred months during the Jewish calendar, and I know that there's certain days you're not supposed to play, and I wouldn't. A lot of times I wouldn't follow myself on that. So I made sure to try and be a good Jewish boy this year and do the right things and fast and watch the synagogue during the high holidays and then just be careful what I do and just try and live right. You know what I mean? I think that all the bad things happen because not just the month of October, but I just wasn't living right. I wasn't doing the right things. You know, poker always came easy to me, Alan. So I was always, I never worried about losing. You know, I took it for granted. I let my ego get the best of me for many years, and you know, I've been humbled since my injury. And it took that to get humbled, you know, and that's why, you know, instead of feeling sorry for myself, I have to tell myself, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, if I didn't have this injury, where would I be? You know, who knows what would have happened, you know? So, you know, if I didn't meet my girlfriend, you know, the one I was with before would have never fucking found my injury. You know, she found it. You know, and I would have been paralyzed 100% if it wasn't for her. So everything happens for a reason. And just like you've had 4 seconds, it happens for a reason. You're going to win eventually. I'm 100% sure that you will win a bracelet. It's just a matter of, you know, working a little bit harder on your game, putting your mind to it, telling yourself positive thoughts instead of negative things. I
have a problem with negative. Thinking negative at the table. Really,
I know it's bad.
Happened to me so many
it's
times
something you need to work on.
I just know I'm going to lose.
Right. Okay. So let me do this. Let me tell you this. Do this. So one of Daniel's coaches told me during the World Series, he gave me the best advice I ever happened, and maybe that's why I didn't lose in October this year. And that's, don't think negative about anything that happened 2 hours in the past. That's it. Always think positive. Forget if it happened 2 hours before, never bring it up. Only bring up positive things and what you're going to do in the future. And if you just stick to this, because I used to be negative too. Do you remember how negative I used to be in like 07, 08? Like I used to call myself the unluckiest player in poker. No, and then I went on the weight loss bet, and I said, I'm done thinking negative. I'm only going to think positive. And then 2008, I had the biggest year I ever had in poker. So I let myself get away from that when I got injured. You know, I started blaming everybody. And this is the truth. I really believe this is like, even I kind of lost faith in God. You know, I was blaming God, like, why'd you do this to me? Why I'm too nice of a person? Why did you do this to me? And I think that was my biggest fault. And once I started believing that everything happens for a reason, and why you can't blame God, that's the worst thing you could ever do. and I became a little bit more religious and started appreciating more of the things I have in life. And I think that made me a better person. I really believe that. And I for the first time in my life, I remember telling myself this after my injury. I started thinking, God, I said this to myself, God doesn't exist. He would never have this happen to me, you know? And that's when things got really bad for me. And now I changed my entire thought process and I went back to how I used to be. I'm probably more religious than I ever was. And I stopped blaming God for my problems. And I think that's why things have turned around for me. I literally learned from my mistakes. I know people say that all the time, and I've said it. Fuck, I went broke 9 times, and after the 5th time, I said I'd never go broke. And luckily for me, I mean, I figured it out. I mean, 49 years I didn't figure it out, but I figured it out a couple of years ago, and I really figured it out this year. And I'm going to get everybody paid back, hopefully within a year and a half. And I don't owe very much money. Everybody thinks I owe so much. I really don't owe much money. You know, all I have to do is have one decent year and I'll have everybody paid off. So, you know, it's important, Alan. You got to get yourself out of that negative mindset. You got to start thinking positive. Stop thinking about what's wrong and start thinking about what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, how many people are like me where I haven't worked in like 20 years? Yeah. I travel wherever I want to go.
Right.
I don't have anybody to answer to. I mean, people say, "Well, you're such a bad player. You don't like. How do you stay?" And it's like, I must do something right.
You're not a bad. They say the same. Dude, let me say something. They say the same thing about Hellmuth, and Phil doesn't have anything left to prove. You know. The only reason why I have something to prove is because of my injury and people saying I can't play anymore. And the bottom line is I've played 52 tournaments in the last 3 years. I cashed 23 and final tabled 6. I want to know how many other people have that record. You know what I mean? And just 'cause that's it. You know, I don't need to answer to anybody. I know how great I am, and I just want to. I
know that I'm not like the world's best poker player or anything.
But you're a winning. You're not a losing poker player, Alan. That's all that matters.
Right. The thing is, I literally travel wherever I want to. I don't have a boss. I go wherever I want. I don't have anybody to answer to. I don't get money from my sister's trust fund or whatever people were talking about. That's like a complete hoax.
Of course, I know that.
It's like, yeah, like people are saying, oh, well, you lose a lot of money every year, but your sister is backing you, and you have a trust fund. None of that is true.
No, you make money. You're smart. I mean, you could tell my listeners how you bet on how good you do with video poker. I mean, you're like one of the very few people in the world that win at video poker. You know, that's pretty talented. And you don't lose at poker. You cash more than anybody, and you get your. You know what you're doing, man. You don't listen to people, man. You know, I didn't even know that Twitter had mentions until about 8 months ago. So I never even listened to what anybody said. And then I started looking at it, and it would aggravate me. And so I just told my girlfriend, I'm like, whenever I put a tweet out, I'm like, just tell me the positive things. I don't want to hear the negative things. And that's another thing about being positive. If you start reading, see, social media is like the devil. It's like everybody on there has no life. They want to just bash other people, be negative about everybody, because that's what they do. Because they're from behind a computer, they can just talk shit about people. And
what I've been doing is I just block those people from my life because it's too much negative. I have enough negativity as it is without them.
Right, and so that's why
Barry Woods was giving me a hard time for like 2 years, and I said, "F you, Barry," and I just got rid of him. I blocked him on all social media because he was trolling me left and right. And you know, the guy, if you watch him play, he's not a very good card player to begin with, and he's got no right to rip me.
Yeah, Barry's a good guy, man. He's got a lot of
trolling me.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money, man. He's a good guy. He likes, he likes to fuck. That's the thing is, that's the thing is, so many people like to troll, and that's why they hate Trump so much, because he's always trolling people. He's like the best troller in the world. And like people who troll me, I mean, I think it doesn't bother me. But it's important. It's important for someone like you because you get negative all the time, and you start seeing negative things. You let it take over you. If you think negative, your negative things will happen. If you think positive, positive things will happen. And I think it's very important for someone like you, who I respect a lot as a person, to get yourself in a positive frame of mind. This way, everything out of your mouth is going to always be positive, And when it is something you're upset about, just try and turn it into a positive, because you can't let it control you. We cannot control what the World Series of WPT does. They're not going to listen. If you show 95% that don't want re-entries, they don't give a fuck. It's the bottom dollar. The only way that's going to change is if everybody gets together and boycotts an event. That's the only way it's going to change.
That's never going to happen.
And it's never going to happen because I remember back in the days when I told Phil, I said, why are we letting the World Series of Poker make all this money? We could just rent out this is back in like 2006, I think. We could rent out the Thomas and Mack, call it the World Championships of Poker, get all the top players from Poker Stars, Full Tilt, and all the upcoming, and everybody's going to go there. ESPN's going to go there, and they're going to have nothing. And you know what Phil Hellmuth said? Well, you could be over there. I'll be at the Rio trying to win bracelets. So that's the bottom line. Players are never going to do shit. I remember that I was on a boycott and nobody stood with me when Phil won his 11th bracelet and they had him in the secure box. Remember that? I think it was 2007. And they took away everybody's phones. They put only family in this box. And I went crazy and threatened to boycott over this. And not one person had my back. So you're right. It's never going to happen. So quit worrying about it. You know what I mean? Just get yourself in a positive fucking frame of mind. Like you're in Choctaw now. Tell yourself, I'm going to win this fucking tournament. Fuck them all. And just everything. Just tell yourself everything positive, 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 positive. And if you don't win, say, well, I guess it wasn't my time, but I'm going to stay positive, and I can't wait to go where I'm going next. And you just keep telling yourself
I have a really nice schedule coming up, so maybe that works for me.
Yeah, you should tell yourself every day, like, man, like you just said, I got a great life. I could travel where I want, play poker where I want, and you know what the most important thing is, Alan? You got your fucking health. You fucking don't have to worry about what I have to worry about. And I took it all for granted. People would always say, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And you'd always say, yeah, you're right. But you don't really believe it until it happens to you. And so you need to appreciate what you have in life, man. Appreciate you have your health. Appreciate that you can travel the world playing poker. Appreciate that you're able to play with everybody in cash and give yourself a chance to win. And appreciate your life and work on making it better every day. Just tell yourself this. When your money goes in, and instead of thinking I'm going to lose, say, fuck these motherfuckers, I'm going to win. And then when you win, you say, fucking take that, bitch. And you fucking keep that positive energy. And if you lose it, don't say that I'm so unlucky. Just say, it wasn't my time, but I'm going to get them next time. I'm telling you, man, I would literally bet my life how much better your life will be. Your life will be better in a way you look at people. Your life will be better when you're around people, and your poker results will be better. And all around, it'll make you a better person. And it's something that I'm a very strong believer in. I've always been a believer in it.
I'm here for 2 weeks, so I'm going to keep that in mind as I'm playing this week.
That's it, buddy.
Today I was in this Monster Stack tournament.
Okay, if you took a bad beat, I don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about it. I literally
started with triple stack for the whole tournament, and then at the end of the tournament, I got in 2 races and I lost both. And I was saying to them, instead of saying it's not my time or whatever, I said, wow, I just played for 6 hours, I lost 2 races, and I'm out.
Yeah.
I said, this is ridiculous.
Yes, that's it. But see, now try changing your mindset. Try changing your mindset. When you wake up and whatever you play tomorrow or next day, say, today is my day, and I'm going to fucking focus, and I'm going to crush it. And if that happens and you take a beat, tell yourself, that's okay. this is what poker is. I'm going to go get a good night's sleep, and I'm going to come back tomorrow, and just try, and no negativity, all positivity. Positivity. The thing that you're going to get the most out of it is not poker results. The way you feel towards everything will change, because your entire outlook will always have positive instead of negative. And positivity will breed positivity. I don't know one person in the world that thinks positive that is not successful. I can't name any. You can't. It's just not possible. So
yeah, the two people I can think of that are perfect examples of that are Daniel and Phil Hellmuth.
Absolutely,
they're both really successful.
And they like even during, there was a tournament. I forgot what it was, but I said something negative, and I was texting with Daniel, and he said, "Don't you ever say that again. That's negative." He goes, "I don't want to hear one negative thing come out of your mouth again. If you do, I'm going to be so mad at you." And he was right. And then I spun that into something positive. I forgot. I ended up doing really well. But he was on my case for it, because I texted him something negative. And I'm telling you, man, it's everything in life. No matter whatever happens in my life from here on out, I could look back at what happened to me over the last 5 years and realize that it all happened for a reason. And the people that got on my case for the Postel interview, as poker players, they should know the only thing I want is to read the situation, to listen closely. That's all they need to do, you know. And that's
that guy never would have gone on a Joey Ingram type show.
Never. He would have hung up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't know much about it, and I only saw.
Let him speak. That's all.
I let him speak, and you know what? Make a decision on what he has to say. You know, I kind of made my decision. You know, I'm able to see through situations as a poker player.
Did you ever watch the when OJ got interrogated at the LA police when he had the cut on his hand and all that?
Yeah.
They were as nice as they could be possible to the guy.
Exactly.
Talking about.
Thank you, Allen. You're like the only poker player that understood it at the time. It's like if you go in and a guy who's guilty, right, and you just tell him that he's guilty or whatever, like he ain't gonna get. They sit there and they coax him, they kick, they make. You got to get trust with somebody, even if he is guilty. Okay, they have took it to an extreme that is just ridiculous. Okay, there's nothing in his fucking hat. If he did anything, it was in the phone where he was able to see the stream through his phone, and that's it. You know, that's everything else is a conspiracy bunch of bullshit. You know.
From the amount of research that I've done, which is I've actually studied this case pretty well. Mm-hmm. Basically, he had done a pilot show with them called like Dream Poker or something, where he was actually in the back room like working in the studio and stuff. Mm-hmm. So all he basically needed was the link. There's a link that was sent to the owner of the Stones Casino.
Correct.
Where the owner could watch the show live. Mm-hmm. All he needed was that exact link.
That's it.
He could type that link in his phone and watch the show live the same way the owner was watching the show live.
Exactly.
He didn't need any outside conspirators or anybody telling him information through his pad or any of that.
All exactly.
That one link to type in his phone. Say his friend has the link. He gave it. Say I know the link, but I don't want to be watching the thing on my phone every 2 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. So I give you the link. I give Mike Matusow the link. I say, look. Buzz my ear once if I should fold. Buzz my ear twice if I should raise.
Yeah, that's all bullshit. It didn't happen, man.
No, it's really simple.
I know, but it didn't happen because I seen the guy fucking with the big bulge in his hat take his hat off. There was nothing in the hat. And then I saw him lose about 20 pots in a row with the big bulge in his hat. The hat is completely ridiculous. There's nothing in the hat.
It is possible to do that.
It's possible, but there's nothing in the hat. Trust me, it was in. If he did cheat, he was given the link to the phone, to the live feed, and that'll come up when they subpoena his phone. And if somehow he says, "Oh, I had to get a new one" or something like that, then he's fucking guilty. You don't need to look at all. Everybody looking at all these fucking these videos. It just, there's no reason to. It's all in the phone. If he wants to exonerate himself, he doesn't have to go over everything. All he has to do is hand the phone over, show there was no connection, and he's exonerated. If he doesn't do that, he's guilty. That's it. There's nothing else.
Well, the guy seemed like he was pretty tech oriented. So if I were him, I would have one special phone that all it does is it's used for that one purpose. It's not his real phone.
Nah, but he had his real phone on the table. He never thought they were going to get caught. So, I mean, because it's a 1-3 stream in a little place, and he never would have got caught, unless somebody brought it up. And that's if he did it. I'm not going to say it until the phone's been subpoenaed and he didn't, and the phone has been cleared, or he didn't hand it over. Something like that, before I say he's guilty. I give the guy the benefit of the doubt until the end. He swears to me he's going to prove his innocence. Well, let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
yeah.
I just wish there was something. Maybe they won't talk to me at all at the Bellagio, but if you could figure out a way to get to talk to somebody at the Bellagio, and even if they make it, if you bust, you can re-enter one time.
Yeah.
I can see, somebody travels from Pennsylvania. They want to play the tournament, and
I got no problem with that.
Time, they should be allowed to buy in again.
I have no problem with that at all. I just believe no day two buy-ins. On day one, you get one re-entry, and that's it. That's just what my beliefs are.
I wish there was some way you could get through to them, because
you're not going to get through to them. So just drop it. Think positive thoughts. Think about where you're at now. Don't worry about it. And do what I said about staying positive. And the only way it's going to change is if people stop playing. And I will not go play in it. And Dan Shack says he won't play with it. And there'll be a lot more people that don't play in it. And you just got to stick to your guns, And that's it. It's the only way you're going to, if they want to have all the pros beating each other up, let it happen, But I'm not going to play in it. Not unlimited re-entries for a day and a half. I'm just not going to play in it. It's not going to happen. So there's plenty of poker tournaments, man. There's you play more poker tournaments a year than I played in 10 years. There's plenty of poker tournaments. You just go to the next one.
People are saying to me, "Well, why aren't you in the playground right now? It's a $3 million tournament."
Yeah,
you can. And I said, I don't enjoy going there. I don't feel comfortable there. Why would I go there? I can go wherever I want.
Exactly.
I don't. Why should I go there?
Yeah.
And they're saying, it's a great tournament. Why wouldn't you play there? I say, well, if you don't feel comfortable somewhere, and I can come to Choctaw where I'm very comfortable, even though it's lower buy-ins.
Yeah, but the main event's pretty good. Are they still have $1 million for first main event, like they had a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it's good. It's $1 million guarantee. I think the first place is around $300,000.
Yeah, it's a good. I heard that's a great tournament.
Coming here.
I heard it's a beautiful place, and and I've been there once. I forgot, but it's a beautiful place, and I heard the tournaments are great. And go where you want to go, man. Who gives a fuck? Who gives? That's another thing. That's another thing you need to work on. Who gives a fuck what anybody else fucking thinks? Do what makes you happy. My girlfriend's 100% right. Do what makes you happy. Who gives a fuck what anybody else thinks? Stay in a positive mindset.
Why'd you go all the way to Europe for 3 weeks? I enjoy going there. Why wouldn't I go?
Exactly.
It's a great place.
Again, stop thinking what people think. As soon as you see a negative comment about something, just go right over. Don't think anything. You got to get yourself in them. Don't care. That's one of Phil's biggest. It's the only problem I can't get through to Phil. Phil's always worried about what other people think, and that's why he's always name dropping. That's why he's always because he's so insecure. Where you know what I'm saying? He's Phil Hellmuth. You know what I mean? He's fucking the number one fucking most famous poker player in the world. What do you give a fuck what some troll on Twitter thinks? And he always worries about what everybody thinks.
Wait, I wanted you to bring up one more thing.
Okay.
Daniel is he kind of befriended me in this Europe thing, and he's asking me for advice about the player of the year.
Right.
And there was 2 different instances where he was actually like in third place for most of the time, right?
Right.
And I run into him in the buffet, and I said, "Listen, Daniel, there's a PLO or PLO mix running right now. Even though you're in some other tournament, you need to drop a stack in that and try and build up a stack. You might get some points. You might make day 2, and if you bust the other one, you can go back to the first tournament, whatever." Anyway, he does it. He cashes, right? So we're playing the 25K 8 game.
Okay.
Right? And there's like 20 people left. I'm still in. Right. 19 people left. They're paying 7. Right? So we have the dinner break. And we're going to dinner break. And I said, Daniel, this is just like the other day. There's a $2,000 PLO tournament going right now. And you have like a 20-minute window where you can play and build up a stack. And he says, come on, this is our dinner break. I said, listen, Daniel, if you want to win Player of the Year, you got to listen to me on this. And you got to go play this tournament. So he goes and plays while the dinner break is going on the 25K, right? He comes back to me, and he's like in this really mad attitude with me, and he says, Alan, I can't believe you told me to do that. And then he says, I was just kidding. He said, I ran up my stack to 200,000.
Wow.
I'm one of the chip leaders.
And he ends up winning Player of the Year,
he said,
right?
Thank you for, he said, thank you for telling me that. And he said, you know what else I did? He said, I told Robert Campbell, who was also on break, that you told me this, and I told him to do the same thing. I said, you know what? I really respect you for doing that.
That's great, man.
I said, that's one of the most admirable things I've ever heard a poker player do. Like, you guys are cutthroat, going against each other for these points, and you told him my idea, and he actually did the same thing as you, but his didn't work out as well as yours, obviously. Anyway, it winds up that Daniel's stack, even though he made the final table, he kept running back to his stack, and his stack finished like 20th place in that tournament. He got almost 100 points, which is about what his lead is right now.
Wow.
All because it was like but I think because he was honest with the other guy, I think that came back to help him because
exactly.
He didn't have to tell the other guy, look, I'm doing this. I'm not trying to undercut you. I'm not trying, like Robert Campbell's going on break. It's his dinner break at a 25K. He's not thinking I should play this $2,000 PLO tournament on the break.
Right.
But I thought of this, and I told Daniel this, and Daniel said, to keep this contest above board, I'm going to tell Robert Campbell, who's currently the leader,
right,
that I'm doing this.
That's called, what that's
really
called?
I respected Daniel for doing that.
Me too. That's called karma. And that's why I respect Daniel so much. And that's why it was so important.
And now he's going to wind up winning this Player of the Year by like 100 points. And it's all because, not only did he listen to me and do this, but I think because he was upfront about it with the other people that are, in the race.
Absolutely. And this is why this again goes back to doing the right things in life, doing positive things. And that's why I was so important before the World Series for me and Daniel to wipe everything under the rug and get in a positive mindset. And I had a monster World Series. He had a monster World Series. And I believe that because we got rid of the negativity, when we started, we didn't need it.
Has the time to do it, they should watch the entire 15 days of his vlog or the blog, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Every day it's positive. There's nothing that, a few times he talks about that he wasn't playing his best. And, but the overall feeling you get watching those things is that he's a very positive person and he has a very good outlook on things.
And that's what you need to do. And even when things go bad, like even if you look at all my video vlogs from the World Series, I started to get down a little towards the end. And Sean Deeb comes up to me and says, Mike, you're playing great. I know you're playing great. He goes, you got the stud 8 tomorrow. You got the main event. He goes, it's not over. Hang in there. And boom, I hit both of them.
Listen to this about the World Series, right? I had a record. I had lost 15 straight years in the main event, right?
Okay.
So I had my thing scheduled what day I was going to play. And matched out, he says to me, I want you to come to this charity tournament.
On Saturday. That was Saturday. Yeah, I was supposed to go too.
Yeah. Anyway, I said, well, I was planning on playing the main event that day and then going to Frank's party.
Right.
He said, well, I'd really like you to come to this charity tournament and you can promote it. And maybe you can get some other people to show up or whatever. I said, you know what? That sounds like a really good idea. I'm gonna switch everything around. I'm gonna go to your charity tournament, and I'm gonna play the last day, which I've never done before.
Which I've never done either, and I never will again. What a fucking shit show that was! Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy with the they weren't seating people properly, whatever. Anyway, there's this whole dispute about our seat. I was seated with Anthony Zinno and all these people that were all late regs, and they were telling us it was random, and we're arguing and all this stuff. And finally they said, we're going to break your table because of all the arguing, and we're going to move you to the Amazon room, into the main area, random seats. Once they moved me, I was either the chip leader or like top 3 in chips after day 1, all because of this whole dramatic change of events where I decided to go to this charity tournament and change my whole flow of everything. And it's the first time I ever had any success whatsoever in the main event, all because I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something nice, go to this charity tournament. It's going to change my whole schedule around, but I think it's the best thing to do. So I did that. I went up chip leader, whatever. I made it all the way to day 5, which I've never done before, obviously, in the main event. Right. First time I ever cashed. So, sometimes you have to do things that are...
these are positive things, and you need to apply these things in your life. Every year,
and I kept thinking to myself, if I change the day I'm going to play, I'm going to lose. And then I say, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to go to this charity thing is the right thing to do, and I'm going to do it.
And there you go. There's a perfect example of your negativity and your positivity. You said, if I change the day, I'm going to lose. But then you said, I'm going to go to this, and you went to it, and positive things happen. There's a perfect example of it. And it's so important. I'm not a life coach for anybody, but for the people that are listening to the show, to the people that are listening to the podcast, I want people to understand it is the most important thing you could do in life is not live life of of a victim. Don't be a victim, be the victor. I don't want to kiss Daniel's ass all these great, because I know he's a good person, but people say, oh, you're kissing his ass or whatever. But no, I'm just telling you, he's a very positive person. And what happened to us, a lot of things that happened to us were because we got involved with politics, and politics is all negative because all they are is out to divide everybody. And you can't let politics or negativity bring you down. You have to understand how people are, and you got to understand what makes you a better person and makes other people a better people.
The amount of stress he's under trying to win this Player of the Year. He's stuck $200,000 in Europe, and I'm with him a lot of the time in Europe because we're playing the same events, we're on the same breaks, whatever, and it's amazing. People will stop and ask him for a picture. I never saw him be mean to anybody. He's under a lot of stress. He's playing at 25K, 100K, whatever it is he's playing.
Daniel?
And no matter how many people, it must have been hundreds of times I watched this happen.
Yeah.
And they'll say, just can you do one more picture? And it's always one more.
Right.
And he never, ever turned anybody down. It's like...
And guess what? Neither have I. And it's the most important thing in the world. You can't think you're better than anybody else. You can't forget where you come from. It's very important. You just got to keep that mindset, because when it is your time and you have that positive mindset, you're going to feel the power of the positivity lead you to that victory. Trust me when I tell you this. You will feel it. And it's the best feeling in the world that your positivity led you to that result. Trust me on this. Phil and Daniel are perfect examples of it. That's all you need to know. So, as somebody that's been successful playing video poker, what kind of advice would you give the everyday person that is a degen that likes to play video poker, where they don't blow their brains out, that can at least break even or possibly win at video poker? Do you have any secrets you'd like to share with anybody on that, or no comment?
First of all, there's a lot of information on the internet about video poker games, and I'll give you an example. I'm at Choctaw here, and I see one of the, this woman that she's a very good poker player. I don't want to mention her name, and she's playing the Ultimate X poker, that
Right.
The crack cocaine
the
of
crack.
video
It is
poker.
the crack cocaine of poker. It took over me remember when they first came out, we were both talking about it. I told you stay away from it, but I don't know. You play it though. Do you win at it or no?
I play it. The problem with that game is that it's a counterintuitive game. Like it's a complicated game because based on how many multipliers you have,
right,
and and also what multiplier you can earn, it affects your entire strategy. Like,
correct,
say you're playing a game like double bonus, right?
Right.
Well, normally you would keep aces because you want to get 4 aces with the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
But in a game in double bonus Ultimate X, if you have aces and sevens, for example, you would keep that because the reason is you want to get a full house. So you can get a 12x multiplier on the next hand.
Correct. And I figured that out when I was playing it, but I still got crushed. But, yeah.
All right, but the thing is, every game has little nuances like that. Mm-hmm. And people say, well, I play by feel. I know I know what cards to hold. That's ridiculous. Nobody knows what cards to hold. No. You have to study the game, and there's information online about, like the values of different hands, and it's just like live poker.
Right.
Every hand has a certain value.
Right.
And you can't just say, well, I'm going to hold these cards. Like, I walked by today, and this lady held 2 8s and a jack, and she made a full house. I'm thinking to myself, why did she just hold the jack?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to ask her that because, like, she's telling her husband, I just made a full house, and I looked at the hole, she had 2 8s and a jack. Wow. Like, why would anybody in their right mind do that? But, I mean, people... Like if you're gonna play for any real money in video poker, like if you're playing for nickels or quarters or whatever,
right,
go with your instinct or whatever. But if you're gonna play real money, you'd be foolish not to know the values of the hands. There's a certain a hierarchy of what hands are worth more than other hands.
And math is probably go ahead.
My number one advice to anybody that's playing video poker is to know what pay table is the right pay table to be playing. And also to know the hierarchy of the hands.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't be guessing, well, do I hold 4 to a flush here, or do I hold a pair here, or do I hold 3 to the royal flush here, or whatever. You should know there's a hierarchy. Which hand is worth more than which other hand?
Yeah. I noticed myself playing I was always found myself in, let's just play, I'm playing the ultimate bet or ultimate X deuces. Like, I would always go for the flush, which I wouldn't do regularly, because to get the multipliers up, or even straights. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I felt like that was the right thing to do. Where I like if I have 2 deuces and a straight dealt, I'm not sure if you're supposed to keep the straight and get your multiplier up, or just do it. I always did and keep the 2 deuces.
Yeah, that's Deuce as Wild is in itself one of the most complicated video poker games.
Right.
But when you get with the Deuces Wild with the Ultimate X,
right,
it's a very intense game, and you really, really have to study the values of the hands. And the values of the hands are different based on what the multipliers are already on the screen, too, and what multipliers you can earn. It's very, very, there's no way to even play the game perfectly. It's all guesswork, basically, because you don't know what multipliers you're going to earn on the hand. You don't know what multipliers you have on the hand. So all that affects your whole decision-making process.
Very complex game. The 12x is the biggest multiplier, correct?
Yeah. I hit an 8x royal.
I hit a 12x royal on 10-cent deuces with a 12x multiplier for 4,800 once. That was fun. That was like like you said, the crack cocaine of video poker. I can't tell you how many times I used to go when I had a lot of money. I'd just go and I'd blow a couple thousand playing quarters, But it was fun. Then I realized this is no fun no more. I just lose every time, But it is fun.
Yeah,
if you have an addictive personality, I tell everybody stay away. Don't ever play Ultimate X poker machine.
Yeah, it's the same thing with slots. Like I see people they're playing a slot machine to they're going for a certain jackpot or whatever, and they finally they finally hit whatever they were going for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're still losing. So now they're playing, and there's nothing they're even playing for. They're just playing because they think the machine's going to give them money back, which is a total fallacy.
Yeah, of course.
The machine has no memory of what happened in the past.
No.
If you've already accomplished what you were going for and you hit whatever, like if you were hitting for a certain bonus or whatever, it's not going to say, well, like this person lost X amount of money, so the next person that walks up is going to win X amount of money. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
So like that's like a major fallacy. People think that for video poker and for slots. It doesn't work that way. Like you can win and keep winning and winning and winning and winning, or you can lose and keep losing for an eternity. It's
I agree.
The machine has no memory. It's like a roulette wheel. A roulette wheel has no memory of like 40 or 50 spins in the past.
But do you feel like when I play video poker, I don't do it very often. I couldn't tell you the last time I did, but I used to go in like once a month and maybe put a couple hundred in a video poker machine. Do you feel like when it gets hot, they stay hot, and when it's cold, they stay cold, or it just doesn't have a memory and it's just random?
Well, everything has streaks to it. So, like, you'll be playing for a while, and it'll you might hit a bad streak, you might hit a good streak, you might hit a choppy streak.
Right.
There's nothing you can control about it. Like, I've had arguments with people about this a lot. Like, if there was a way that you could tell that the hot streak was coming, then people would be printing money at machines.
Right. I agree.
Like, there's no way. Like, people were saying, well, I have this friend that plays slot machines, and he says, well, I've been if I play like 50 or 60 spins and I haven't gotten a bonus, I'm going to increase my bet because I know the bonus is due to come out. Right. It's not due to come out. It's the same odds on the next spin as the previous spin.
Now, where I think that people we can put in what we've talked about with positive thinking. When I'm playing video poker and I'm playing deuces or whatever at a bar, and I keep getting three deuces, and I tell my girlfriend it's going to hit the deuces, and then it hits, right? But it didn't hit because I kept hitting three deuces. It hit because I was in a positive mindset, believing it was going to hit. Does that kind of
If you believe you're going to hit a royal flush and you don't hit a royal flush, does that mean it didn't work that time? Or what?
Well, how about if I tell you this? I've walked into the certain bar that I played at, and I played there for 7 years, or no, more than that. For like 10 years, I'd come in once a week, even back when I had money. And only twice did I ever walk in and tell the bartender, Connie, I said, I'm going to hit a royal tonight. Only twice. And I hit it both times. That's fucking spooky. Okay, one of them was when I won my bracelet in 2013, or before I won my bracelet, when I came back. You remember I had one big bet left, and I came back to be second in chips going into the final table. And I went to the bar that night. I said, and I was so high on life. I was such in a positive mindset because, like, I came back from the dead, and now I got a shot to win the tournament. I walked in, I said, what happened to me today was so surreal that I guarantee you I'm going to hit a royal tonight. And in 3 hands, I popped the royal. It got dealt me 4 to the royal. I said, I'm 100% sure it's going to be there. Boom, it was there. And then the other one was like a year ago during the World Series. Something positive happened, and I walked in and I said, man, things are going so positive for me. I hadn't been there in like a month. I said, I'm going to hit a royal tonight. And boom, I hit the royal. Those are the only 2 times I ever told her I was going to hit a royal there. And it's the only 2 royals I ever hit at this bar. So that all comes from positive instincts. It's not about thinking you're going to hit it because of whatever. It's because you're in that positive mindset from what happened earlier in the day. This is another example.
I'm at Thunder Valley in a poker tournament, right? Mm-hmm. And I had entered the drawing because I play a lot of slots there and video poker. So the drawing just happens to be on the dinner break of the poker tournament. So I'm at the drawing area. They pick all the names. And I was sure I was going to get picked, right? Mm-hmm. And they go to the last name, and I didn't get picked. I said, well, I really thought I was going to get picked, but, that's okay. I'm getting ready to go to the steakhouse. Mm-hmm. And they make an announcement. And they say, we had one person not claim, so we're going to pick one more name, right?
No.
So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I thought I was going to get picked. Anyway, they picked my name, right?
Wow.
So now there's 8 people. There's 8 people seated in a row, right?
Uh-huh.
They put these bags into a bigger bag, and you pick out a bag, and inside the bag is a key. right? If the key is a certain color, you go to the main game to try to win the car.
Gotcha.
Right? So I'm in the eighth seat because I was the eighth person picked, and there's only one key to the car to play the game, right? So I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is going to be a tough thing. I need all 7 people not to pick the key. It's like an impossibility because.
But if you think you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
Picking the key.
That's the thing. If you think you're going to get
anyway,
the key.
The first person has a 1 in 8 shot, then it goes to 1 in 7, 1 in 6, 1 in 5, and it keeps going down the row. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm making a shot at this, right?
Right.
It comes to the 7th person, and now either they get the key or I get the key.
Right.
Right? Somehow they pick the bad key, and I back into playing the game.
Wow.
Right? So now they explain the game, right?
This is another example of positivity, buddy. This is everything we talked about. Go ahead.
So they explain the game, and there's I can send you a picture of this if you want to get a picture of it. I have it on my phone.
Okay.
There's a board. It's got 20 numbers on it, right? Send
us a picture, and man. We'll put it up when we put the interview out.
All right. Anyway, there's 20 different pictures on the board of 20 different numbers, and behind 3 of the numbers are cars.
Wow.
Right? Behind all the rest of the numbers are different money amounts.
Okay.
And if you match 3 money amounts, you win the money. If you match 3 cars, you win the car.
Okay.
But the problem is that the money amounts, there's 4 and 5 of some of the money amounts. It's near. I had somebody do the math, and the math
impossible.
Makes it near impossible to win the car.
Yeah,
right.
It's ridiculous, man. I was thinking the same thing.
So instead of thinking that it's impossible to win the car, I looked at the board, right?
And
I said to myself, say I was the person putting the car up on the board. I would never put the car in any of the corners.
Right.
Because people pick the corners.
Correct.
I would never put the car at number 7.
Okay.
Because 7's a lucky number. Right? So I eliminated those. So then I started in a diagonal thing where I started picking the numbers. And I found the 3 car spots within 5 numbers.
Oh my God.
And I won the car.
Oh my God.
It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It was one of the most surreal things I've ever been. I pictured myself as the person putting where they would put the car.
There you go. This is the exact thing we've been talking about. Picture yourself as winning. Picture yourself as when you take a bad beat of moving forward. This is everything we just talked about. And now you just told me a story that validates our entire talking that we've been talking about. And that's wow.
It was one of the most surreal things. And people were saying, well, how did you pick those numbers? And I said, well, I put it in my mindset that I'm the person that's setting it up, and I want to make it difficult for the person to find the car. I'm not going to put it in the corners. I'm not going to put it in the center. I'm not going to put it at number 7 because that's a lucky number. I'm going to put it, and I had it narrowed down. And if you see the picture of the thing, there's 5 or 6 spots that are picked, and 3 of them have the car. It's amazing.
Wow, this has been a great talk, Allen. Man, this is a good learning experience for you, for everybody who's listening, about the power of positive thinking. You showed me how, just talking to you, what the power of positive thinking is, and now you need to apply it in everything you do, and it's going to make you a much better person.
I have a problem with the today. Today, just as an example, I'm just coasting along, and the guy on the button.
That happened. That happened more than 2 hours ago. We don't talk about that. We think.
I understand that, but I'm just telling you what happened.
Okay,
so
I'll let you slide this time.
This is in the past.
Okay.
This is. But I'm not going to do this anymore.
Okay.
And he says, "Why don't you put me all in?" And I'm thinking to myself, "Why is he saying why don't you put me all in?" I look down. I have 2 10s in the big blind, and the guy's got 14 blinds. I say, "Fine, I'll put you all in." He turns over ace jack of clubs, and he wins.
Right.
So I get short. I go all in with 8s against jacks, and I hit my 8, and I double up again. So now I'm back to a reasonable stack, and we play on, and I get 8s again against the same guy, and he calls. I'm all in. I got short again, and I said, I have eights again. I don't think I'm going to win twice in a row with this hand. And he turns over the same hand, ace jack of clubs that I just lost to earlier. I said, forget it. It's over because
there you go.
I'm not going to.
And you lost, right?
So the flop is 3, 4, 6 of all red. 3, 4, 6. And he says, how much do you have? And I said, like 37,000 something. And he starts counting out the money, and the dealer turns over the ace on the turn.
Yeah.
And I was so sure I was going to lose. It was like it was.
These are what you got. This is a learning experience. These are what you've got to get out of your mind.
No matter what I said, the cards are already in the dealer's hand. That's the part I don't understand.
But it's going to change. Okay, if you start believing you're going to win, it's going to just. Trust me on this. It's gonna change the whole way you look at things. When you start seeing positive things happen, you'll say, "Well, that happened because just like with your car story. That's why that happened. You lost that hand because you told yourself." I mean, I know you're saying, "Well, the cards are gonna change. They're already there, whatever." But you know what? If you, I don't know. I know this sounds stupid, but if you believe that you're going to lose, you're going to lose.
I was certain I was losing that hand when he turned over his jack of clubs.
Yeah, well, that's but you can't. No more after today. No more negativity. Always.
I'm going to try your system and see how it goes.
And then move forward to the next day and the next day, and you'll see good things happen, man. I'm telling you, man, it changed my whole life. All right, Allen, this has been a great interview. It's really great talking to you. I hope you learned something from this interview, and I hope you have great results here in the next year. Take care, my friend.
All right.
Take care,
my friend. Thanks a lot.
You got it. Bye-bye.
The Mouthpiece.
Okay, everyone. I hope you enjoyed episode 25, year 1 of The Mouthpiece. Stay tuned next week. Tune in next week for episode 26 of The Mouthpiece. And we will talk about what's been going on all week as well as my upcoming trip. Have a great weekend. Good luck to you all.
The Mouthpiece.